Hello, and welcome back to the Myers Park High School Student Government Association's podcast series, the Park Podcast. My name is Alex, and I'm a sophomore representative. On today's episode, student government representatives will be asking students at Myers Park what some of their experiences at the park have been like. There are all sorts of things to be involved in at Myers Park, and we have brought in some students to tell you about them firsthand.
Thank you, Alex. My name is Martin, and I'm here today with Reed Bond, a graduating senior in the class of 2020. Now, Reed played soccer all 4 years at Myers Park and was in the AP Honors Program at Myers Park. So, Reed, what's the soccer community at Myers Park like? What effect have your coaches and teammates had on you?
The soccer community at Myers Park is almost like a second family. Everyone gets along really well and looks out for everyone in the hallways, whether you're on JV or varsity. Everyone's there for each other.
That's awesome. Now, how did being on a sports team impact your experience at Myers Park?
The effect that my coaches and teammates had on me are definitely really influential in a positive manner. They just are always looking out for you, whether it's soccer related or school related, or even family related.
Wonderful. Thank you. Now, you've spent 4 years at Myers Park. What advice would you give to incoming freshmen?
Being on a sports team or even a club is a great way to meet new people, and it definitely is a light to your experience at Myers Park, because when you're in the hallways, you always have someone to say hello to or just a new friend.
I completely agree. Thanks, Reed.
Thanks, Martin. With me today, I have Peyton. She's a rising senior and will be co-editor-in-chief of the newspaper next year. Peyton is very involved in clubs, as a leader of the Odyssey of the Mind Club, a member of Science National Honor Society, National Honor Society, Model United Nations, and Recycling Club. Peyton also volunteers through Playing for Others and helping coach a middle school Odyssey of the Mind team. Peyton, with all the activities, I know you must be very busy throughout the school week. What does your after-school schedule look like?
So, my typical day after school looked a little bit like this. So, the bell would ring at 2:15, and then I would usually stay after school till probably 4, doing various club meetings, volunteering with different teachers, tutoring people, or being tutored myself if I was confused about something in class. And then some days I would go straight to Park Road Montessori to help their Odyssey of the Mind team with their solution around 4, and then that would end around 5. And then I would get back in my car, go swing by my house, grab some food, sit down for a sec, and then jump right back into my car and head uptown for my Playing for Others meetings and rehearsals, which is a creative leadership program that I participate in, where everything goes back to the Charlotte community, and it's super fun, and I love it. But those rehearsals were from 6 to 8:30, and then I would go back home after that and arrive home around 9, and then I would do 2 to 3 hours of homework. So yeah, that's what my day looked like.
Wow, Peyton, that's dedication. What are some of the clubs you participate in, and what do you enjoy about clubs at Myers Park?
Some of the clubs that I participate in at Myers Park is Odyssey of the Mind, Model United Nations, National Honor Society, Science National Honor Society, and Recycling Club. What I really enjoy about clubs at Myers Park is that it's a great way to find your place at the park. By joining clubs, you can find people with common interests and create new, amazing friendships within those clubs while also getting to do things you're passionate about. A win-win.
Thank you so much for answering my questions, Peyton. Your involvement in the school is amazing.
Thanks, Kate. Today with me I have Cecile Stout. Cecile is in the graduating class of 2020 and will be attending Wofford College in the fall. She played field hockey throughout high school and also participated in many clubs on campus, including Feed 42, Icing Smiles, and National Spanish Honor Society. You came to Myers Park as a sophomore. What advice would you give a student coming to Myers Park who is not a freshman?
I would tell people coming to Myers Park who aren't freshmen to find stuff that you really enjoy doing, like join a club or a sport that you really like, because that definitely helps you just make friends in all the different grades, which I found extremely helpful.
That is great advice. In your time at Myers Park, what are some of your highlights? What are some of your favorite activities, clubs, or sports that you were involved in?
I have two things that I really loved at Myers Park. I was involved in field hockey for the 3 years I was there, which I loved. Most of my friends played with me, so that it was awesome. And then I loved the Feed 42 Club. That was definitely a huge creative outlet for me. And it was awesome just, being around food and people who love the same stuff you do when it comes to cooking. So that was a ton of fun.
Thanks so much for your time, Cecile. And now to Alex.
Today with me, I have Bo Crutcher. Bo is a rising junior in IB and on the football team. He is a hard worker and loves spending time fishing and working out. So, Bo, what are some of your favorite things about playing football for Myers Park?
My favorite things about playing football at Myers Park, first off, would probably be my teammates. We work together every day to make sure everyone's accountable of what they're doing, and we all need to work together to be able to achieve the goals that we want to get to. And also our coaching staff, I think they're really helpful. And just really one of my favorite things just because they know exactly what we need to do to get where we need to go. They're really understanding and just really helpful and know exactly what they're doing. And also the atmosphere on Friday nights, just everyone comes out to watch everyone play. It's dark outside, just everyone's all hyped up. I think that's one of my favorite things.
Awesome. I feel like Myers Park football is getting more popular every year. What does your training schedule look like in the winter, spring, and into practices?
All right, so the first half of off-season workouts will be the winter season, and during the winter, we're pretty much on our own. We're not allowed to do anything as a team, so everyone kind of just held accountable to make sure they're all running and lifting on their own and just staying in shape before we meet up in the spring. And then normally in the spring, we'll all meet up and do workouts and start running about in April. But unfortunately, this year we're not able to do that, so everyone's just needing to make sure that they do stuff on their own so we can all be ready this summer.
Sounds pretty time-consuming, Bo. Soccer is the same way at Myers Park. You really have to balance school and athletics.
Next, we have Paige Bunden, a rising sophomore in the MYP International Baccalaureate Program. Paige is an incoming sophomore representative with the Myers Park Student Government Association and spends her free time doing yoga. My first question, Paige, with your freshman year behind you, what did you like about Myers Park so far, and what surprised you?
I like how big Myers Park is because you can always meet new people. There are also so many opportunities to get involved with sports, clubs, and the arts, so everyone can find a place that they fit in. For me, it was DECA because I found people that share similar interests with me, and the competitions are so fun. One of the things that surprised me was the amount of clubs that Myers Park offers. I remember seeing all of the clubs at Stampede and being intrigued that there were so many options.
Same. I got involved with DECA too. And with every club and activity, you get to meet a ton of more people. What would you say were the biggest changes that you encountered coming from middle school to high school?
For me, one of the biggest changes was that it is an open campus, which I love, except for when it rains, of course. Another change was having to get to class at 7:15. It sounds awful, but it's so worth it to get out earlier.
I felt the exact same way coming from Alexander Graham. The open campus is great, but you definitely want to make sure you have a good pair of rain boots. Thank you so much, Paige, and I wish you the best of luck in the start of your sophomore year.
Thanks so much, Lane, and thank you to all of our interviewees. My name is Kate, and I am one of the student body co-presidents for the 2019-2020 school year. We have heard about a lot of ways students at Myers Park participate in after-school activities, but what does a basic day in the life of a Mustang look like? Well, the day usually begins with an unwanted wake-up from your alarm clock, anytime between 5:45 and 6:30. Then you'll either ride the bus, carpool, walk, or have a parent drive you to school. Be aware, the carpool lines are super long and can take almost 20 minutes waiting to pull into the parking lot. Once you arrive on campus, you will report to your first block class. First block is from 7:15 to 8:50. At the start of class, you watch the Mustang Morning Show and listen to announcements about what's going on at the park from administrators or other students. Then you'll walk to second block. Keep in mind that transition time between each class is 7 minutes. Second block is from 8:57 to 10:27. After your second class of the day, you will go to third block from 10:34 to 12:38. Third block is 2 hours long with a 25-minute lunch break sometime during this period. Lunch is divided into 5 sections. You report to your designated lunchtime based on the building that you are in for third block class. You can either buy lunch in the cafeteria or bring a bagged lunch from home. 9th through 11th graders are only allowed to sit in the small cafeteria during lunch, but seniors have the privilege of sitting at picnic tables in the quad. Finding friends to sit with at lunch might seem intimidating, but I promise you will make friends with people in your classes or in the same building as you to sit with at lunch. Some students are surprised to find that there is no free period or recess. Lunch is the closest thing to this. After lunch is the last block of the day. Fourth block is from 12:45 to 2:15. At about 2:12, Mr. Foreman, the school's registrar, comes over the intercom to make afternoon announcements. Then, at 2:15, the bell rings, and students go their separate ways to clubs, sports, jobs, tutoring, or any other after-school activities like the ones we heard about today. I hope this was a helpful description of what a regular school day looks like at Myers Park.
That brings us to the end of our segment on interviewing Myers Park students. If you have any further questions, you can DM Myers Park Student Government page at MPHS_SGA on Instagram. Also, make sure you're following our Instagram account to stay updated for more stuff going on at the park. We will be back next week with another MPHS Student Government podcast episode. Bye!